Oh, wow. Welcome, welcome. It is the StewKast Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We are live here. Corey, you added your stuff to it everywhere. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and I think you're Twitchy. Is that right?
Yeah, all that.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk some pro wrestling, some Raw, SmackDown highlights, talk about Elimination Chamber that's coming up. I am Lou Marconi at L Marconi 251 on Instagram and L Marconi 1973 on X. My friend, co-host, and hetero partner at Corey Castle everywhere. You can check out Corey Castle on his podcast Evolving on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Correct?
All those places, yes.
Yep. You can check out me. You can check out me on the Fans First Sports Network, this is the Combat Zone Network, which is a subsidiary of that, and I'm also on the Fanatical Elves Network, which I do other shows like Stirring the Pot and the Burning River Browns Talk. Thank you for joining us, Corey. How you doing,
Dude? I'm pretty great, man. I'm pretty swell. I'm a happy guy.
You're a
I'm a
happy
very
guy.
happy guy. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm hanging and banging, brother. I'm just hanging in there and doing everything else. Got some just got some hot takes here. What I think is going to be happening with WWE or what's going on just in the wrestling business itself. Um, anything going on? Well, actually, anything going on with you? Any wrestling coming up for you? Any bookings or any shows that you need to be made aware of?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, not much happening. No, that's fine. I just wanted to see if there's anything else. I'm retired, so I'm good. But I was gonna say the thing that I noticed was when I was just going because I kind of did a refresher this morning before we are doing the show because I watched last night and I watched Friday and then I kind of did the highlights and everything else. Thing that kind of blew my mind was how LA Knight was treating Mike, the Miz, how he was just kind of cutting on him. I was like, geez, these are just
Yeah, yeah.
rather
I
heartless.
completely missed that. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I worked or something on Friday. I missed SmackDown for
Mm-hmm,
some reason.
mm-hmm. Well, they did. Well, did you watch Raw?
Yeah, I watched
Okay, we
Raw,
can
but
talk Raw.
I missed some of SmackDown.
They're building up WrestleMania with Gunther and Fatu. Hang on,
Gunther and
Jay
uh,
Uso. Jay Uso. Yeah,
Uso.
Jay Uso. Yeah, the Yeet. The
That
Yeet.
was
Yeah.
he said that in his promo yesterday, which I guess is another word for yeet.
Mm-hmm. No, the match that I was thinking of, I was looking at because I'm looking at the which made me say Fatu, Jacob Fatu. So I'm watching. I had over here on the side. I was looking up the Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be Solo Sequoia against Jacob Fatu. See, they give me these Samoan names, and I screw them up. But
Is Solo Sikoa against
Jacob
Jacob Fatu
Fatu,
at Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber, along with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which that would be interesting to watch. I think both of those matches would be interesting to watch because I'm thinking. Do you think they're gonna make Jacob Fatu a babyface in this one, or
Oh yeah, oh
you think
yeah,
so? Okay.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There's no way he's not the babyface at the end of
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead.
people are already cheering him. They're getting behind him all the time. Like
I
they're
think.
chanting his name constantly.
Well, yeah, he's a big guy that can move. I mean, God, I mean,
What he can do.
it's pretty outstanding on what he can do. Yeah, absolutely. There was, let me think, what else was going on. Well, you texted me this, which was interesting, that for the Elimination Chamber matches, two of the women's champions were
Yeah.
eliminated before even getting to that. And that week,
Right.
now go ahead, tell me your take on that. I was like,
So, so I mean, I think if you look back at older
mhm,
episodes, I've been saying how little those belts meant in the first place, and like there's too many belts already in wrestling, um, and now in the WWE they have secondary belts, right? So there's two like two of like the main belts. Like there's a Raw one and a SmackDown one. There's which they're calling the women's and the worlds. And now on top of that, they've got now the tag belts, and they've got the women's
Intercontinental.
United States title and the women's Intercontinental title. So
There's then you can go to NXT, which is a whole different thing.
right. And then they
Yeah,
have a North American. They have an NXT Women's Championship, and they have a. Do they have? No, they don't have a women's tag team titles for NXT, do they?
I don't think so.
So, but I mean, it's just like belts and belts and belts, constant belts.
Hmm.
Um, but the fact that any champion ever gets pinned to the mat and doesn't lose their title in a like a title match, it cheapens it so much more. Like
Hmm.
they had on Raw last week for the women's elimination chamber uh, qualifier matches. They had both uh, both the Intercontinental. So the Lyra Valkyria lost to Bailey in a qualifier, and
Yeah,
and she's the women's Intercontinental champion, which that belt already doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. It's going to even mean less when the champion loses clean in the middle and doesn't lose their belt. It makes it look like they're beatable. Like it doesn't make that belt look like it means anything at all. Uh, and
right.
then and then Chelsea Green, who did she wrestle? Um, Bianca Belair,
Yes, thank you.
and Bianca Belair beat her for a qualifier to get into. And now on top of that, switching from the topic of the belts, on top of the the discussion about Bianca Belair is now they're implying, and I missed this part. This might have been the very beginning of Raw, and I might have missed it. It was maybe in that like 5 minutes where I wasn't watching, but they implied Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, or they call her Raquel Gonzalez. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah, yeah. With the live more. Yeah, go ahead.
They implied them as attacking Jade Cargill.
Hmm.
So is like my idea was that they were going to kind of like have that be built towards something for WrestleMania, but I was like, how are they going to build what like Raquel and Liv against Bianca? I mean, against Raquel and Liv against Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. There's three of them. It doesn't seem to compute to me, but I'm interested to see where they're headed with it
Yeah,
and what
I
their
like.
intentions are and the GPS
Yeah,
coordinates
the
towards getting
directions. The
WrestleMania.
directions. Well, let me
Right.
ask you. Let me just. Do you think that'll probably be explained on March 1st during the Elimination Chamber, and that's in Toronto? Do you think?
I think they're going to be a few puzzle pieces closer to showing the full picture of what's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be revealed all the way.
No. Well, do you see it still leading to WrestleMania?
I do. I do see it being something to build towards WrestleMania, as especially a part of like Jade's revenge or Jade's vengeance or her
Hmm.
frustration with the fact that she got taken out of action by this person, even though like it was like a training injury or something. Like
Yeah.
she like tore her MCL, and like they like they had that come back from like a commentator's report. They were like, "Oh yeah, she tore her MCL in that backstage attack." That doesn't happen. Nobody ever pulls an MCL in a backstage attack. But like, all right, it looked like she was struck by a vehicle. This like and like laid out on the front of the car like that, and she tore her MCL doing that. All right,
Uh,
all right, if you say so.
if
I mean, you guys have the medical facilities. I don't.
they have all the people, they have all the people in the medical facilities. They have the best doctors in the world, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, they did an angle too. Speaking of when you're talking about the women's too, it looked like it was with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany.
Right.
They were doing that because where she was laid out. So hang on. I'm trying to push this through to live on X. Hang on, I'm not joining. I came in and said I was live. Join. Let me go ahead and get this out here. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and promote it on X. Yeah, guys, check us out. Feel free to comment, like, share. Please join and subscribe. Follow us on the Combat Zone Network. We're part of the Fanatical Elves Network. We're talking pro wrestling here. Uh, what else? What else caught your attention too? Well, like I said, the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match is one I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to, as well as the
It's
Jacob
interesting that
Fatu.
they're saying that it's going to be unsanctioned.
Yes.
So does that mean because that's for sure they're adding a gimmick to it, but not like a blow off gimmick, like to blow off the
The
angle.
feud. The feud.
So
Yeah.
you'd think that they'll do that at Elimination Chamber in order to lead to some other sort of blow off for WrestleMania in April.
Yeah. It's probably going to lead to Kevin and Sammy in WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Okay. It
Since
sounded
we're
like
here,
you were like, yeah, what you said is one thing, but what I'm
nah,
saying is another.
no. What I'm saying is what exactly. I'm just rewording what you said, but in agreement
You,
to what you said. All
yes,
right, all right.
you
So
were.
hey, let's take a moment here to take a pause for a break from our sponsors. All right, cool. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you for the great words from the sponsors. All right,
Welcome back, everybody. If
welcome
you're
back.
just
Yeah,
joining us now, hello. Hello today. I hope everything is great for you.
yeah. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you for doing all that. So if like I said, with this, we putting off the side of Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and we're thinking Jacob Fatu is going to turn babyface. What else do you see happening? I mean, what else do you see coming up? Because now because the Jey Uso and Gunther match is going to be a big one too. Do you see them putting a belt on Uso?
I do. Yeah, I don't see.
You're shaking your
The,
head no, but you're saying they do. I just kind of confused.
I mean, I don't think they should. I don't. I don't
But you
think
see
that.
it. You don't think they
I
should,
don't.
but you see
I
them
don't
doing it.
want to see it, but I think they're going to because, like the overwhelming support for Jey Uso and the fans are so behind him. I
Yeah.
see it being like it has to be that way, even though Gunther has beaten him clean multiple times now for other titles and
Hmm.
in pursuit of that world championship as well. So it's yeah, I just see it being like an inevitability that Jey Uso is going to win the world title at WrestleMania against Gunther. And I'm assuming it's going to probably be in like the first match. I don't think it's going to actually even be the main event.
Hmm. Hmm. A
Because
title
like
change in the first match.
I think so, or it's gonna be peppered in the middle somewhere. I don't think. I think the main events are gonna go. I think the main event of night one uh, is probably going to be a women's match, and the main event of night two is going to be with Cody. So I mean that's just my speculation. That's just what I think. But who
Hmm.
knows?
Hmm. Well, we
Hmm.
could see that happening. That'd be interesting. One thing I would say this is that I'm noticing more than ever is that I think with WWE and Raw being on Netflix, I'm thinking the audience is bigger than ever.
Well, I was thinking that too, but mm, um,
Go ahead.
as somebody who has gone live now a couple times during Raw, while Raw is on live,
Hmm.
for sure getting less people watching it because the ads are obnoxious. The commercials, there's so many of them. When I've gone live, I'm like, oh well, it's another commercial break again. Well, it's another commercial break, and then I start losing people. So I imagine WWE's got to be losing people just the same way during all the ads that they've got on their live
Yeah,
Netflix as well.
I've seen that a lot with the Peacock with the Saturday night's main events. Just just sometimes they'll have ads and they'll have like the match continuing in the upper corner, and they'll have ads going on. And I'm like, really, guys, come on. So, all right,
That's
interestingly
great.
enough, but um, yeah, I just look at it this way because the when I back when the time when you were in the business or first breaking in versus when I was, it's a totally different um how can I put this? It's a totally different way of viewing and watching. I had this conversation with a colleague yesterday after a show I did with him about the Browns, and it was about like how like my children when they grow up, they're not going to be watching entertainment. They're not going to be taking in their entertainment the way I did as a teenager or as a young adult.
Oh
And
yeah,
what I mean by that, I remember 30 years ago, just go back 30 years ago, the biggest show on TV was Friends.
right.
And everybody got together Thursday nights, 8 o'clock. They tuned into NBC to watch Friends. That's not happening today. Not everybody going to get together at a specific day and time to watch a show.
Mhm.
They're going to stream it. They're going to maybe DVR it and watch it later. Just stuff like that. It's a totally different way of watching, a totally different audience. Even like going to the movies versus when I was a kid to now you can watch a movie on your phone, so you can watch wrestling on your phone.
Right.
You don't have to sit there and get together. Oh, okay, it's 9 o'clock on Monday night, let's go between Raw and Nitro. And back in those days, the Monday Night Wars, which was a classic late 90s type of thing. But I just think it's a totally different viewing audience. Like you can watch Raw. You don't have to be there live for Raw to watch it. You can check it
Yeah.
out later. You could, and the amount of views and streams they get is generates their revenue. So it's a totally different way of watching wrestling now. And I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse of it, but I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
I I mean the amount of things that change in like what people are into and the way that people consume things
Hmm.
is going to be completely different. So you're so right in the fact that like the live audience of who's watching doesn't matter half as much as like who streams it and watches it back on demand, because on demand is like definitely for sure like the market for the youth.
Interesting. Yeah.
There are going to be no Nitro watch along parties.
Oh.
Remember when people had Nitro parties? Or at least they showed commercials on Nitro for those things happening. I
Hmm.
know I never heard of one locally. No Nitro parties going on.
You know.
But like you could enter to have the Nitro girls come to your house and party with you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
And I bet you they never did it, but they had people entering in it by saying that that's a thing you could win.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the days, man. You could have a Nitro girl show up to your house, and you could have her show up for a party. Miss Kimberly, Diamond Dallas Page's wife.
It was like, yeah, who else were Nitro? Charmel,
Hmm.
Booker T's wife, was a Nitro girl, right? At some point,
I think so. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels' wife was a Nitro girl. I don't remember
Mhm.
which one she was.
Right.
And I'm trying to think, what was it? Spice. I don't remember. I don't know if she was like married to anybody or
I don't remember. I don't remember, but yeah, man, it's just interesting. Like the way the audience is now versus 30 years ago or 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. It's completely different. And
yeah,
there's more eyeballs on WWE than I think ever before. And it's It's outstanding. I mean, it's an opportunity for a lot of people if you want to break into the business to really get a chance to do well for yourself. I kind of wish I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was, breaking in.
You wish you were a kid now.
Yeah. Well, if I knew now if I know now what I knew back then, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, there's a part of uh, there's a part of not knowing that makes youth so special. Like if you know all the things you know and you get to be young at the same time, the youth part, it's it's a
Yeah.
weird mix of like it's a weird mix of what what how could you know what you know now and still be young?
Right.
You just can't.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right. Well, I just want to go ahead and get moving here with the show. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to talk more Raw SmackDown and leading up to Elimination Chamber for next Tuesday. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. Corey, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Um, I wanted to see if you thought it would be cool. I mean, I know that we're talking about like the difference in the business from now to like 30 years ago or 20 years ago in my case. They're just trying to say like if somebody was trying to break into the business or they had dreams of being a wrestler, the things that are universal that you could absolutely translate into that time to now, what would those pieces of advice be from you?
Best thing I could tell you is to get trained by somebody that knows what they're doing, a reputable school.
That is universal. Yeah.
That's Yep,
Yes. Make sure that the person who's teaching you how to do it was taught the right way.
absolutely. Yep, yep, absolutely.
Well, I March 1st is Elimination Chamber, right? Did you want to go down some of the card and do any predictions, or did you kind of do that already?